Stop. Whenever you hear anyone saying something along the lines, I have bad genes, stop, because whatever comes after most likely is crap. Load of bullshit and something that should be critically examined and studied. Let me explain what I mean by that. Whenever people say I have bad genes, what they mean is they take it as an excuse of not taking action to take care of their health, well-being, fitness, whatever problem they may or may not have. They take it as an excuse for not taking more action and actually taking care of themselves fully. And it's all based on false assumption that we are being controlled by our genes. Not true at all. Just study a bit of epigenetics, neuroscience, and all these studies that say quite clearly, yes, we have been given DNA as we're born. We also have loads of genes, but we use only small portion of genes every single moment. And who decides which ones are going to be used or not? Well, it's our subconscious mind. So how does it do that? Well, there are many things taken into consideration, and some of them, yes, some of them are really far out of reach to control. However, the most important one is environment. And by environment, I mean, let's look at our hands. Our hands are full with cells, and those cells live in a certain environment, and that environment is determined by the temperature I have around me, by how much heat, humidity, light, and all these things. That's outside environment. But there's also inside environment, which is highly determined by all kinds of factors such as diet. So what have you eaten? Or what kind of nutrition, fat, carbs, protein, vitamins. So is there enough nutrition to sustain cell energy, well-being, and normal operation? Then, of course, water. And then it goes into the movement. So how much moving you are. Is it enough lymph? Is it possible to get rid of all the waste products? Are you actually making sure that there's enough flow in your body so everything gets enough energy? And the third one is rest. How much sleep? How much of actually taking break of your thinking, worrying, all these things. So these are three principles: nutrition, movement, and rest. So that's one big chunk of how you can influence your environment. And that's only from the mind, from the decisions, from daily actions. And you have control over that. So you can make sure the environment is as best as nurturing as possible. And if you have really nice nurturing environment, it's highly likely to activate nice and nurturing genes. If you have bad, corrupt, and really disempowering environment, it's highly likely to activate genes that make you diseases. And most of the diseases these days are caused by mental stress. And again, cause is up here in the mind. And the best way how to get control over your genes is to get control over your mind. As simple as that. And make sure that you think positive and feel good and move. As simple as that. Sounds simple, not always easy to do it. We all have responsibilities, duties, daily problems, challenges. We all want to grow, all want to move, and all kinds of things happen. And it's not always easy to actually put it into the practice. However, what I want you to take away from this video is to remember that you do have control over your genes by controlling your mind and trying to do your best to remove your mental stress, to feel as good as you can sustainably, and take care of your health. And one of the best ways how to take care of your health is expressing self-love towards yourself. So when you define self-love, it's regard for one's own well-being and happiness. So by well-being, I mean physical, body, emotional, feelings, emotions, and mental, thoughts, mind. So if you take care of these three things, you're gonna take care of your genes. And sometimes it also means taking care of some external things, like what kind of physical environment you have it around. Is it stressful, noisy office? Do you have people around that's always cranky, sad, angry? Like, what kind of a physical environment you're spending your most days in? And if you have this disposition for some bad genes like cancer, some diseases, and all these things that could happen, you can surely avoid them or delay them to such a long distant future that it will not bother you by having nice and empowering environment around you. You have a nice flat, you can have a calm environment, doing meditations, making sure that your workplace is really chill, and finding those opportunities and making sure that you actually take care of your physical body so your cells feel taken care of, so their body cells feel loved, nurtured. And it is as simple as that. And if you're wondering what is something that you could be taking, what action you could be taking right now today to take control over your genes. So first of all, you could just check what dispositions, what kind of diseases, illnesses, what kind of things you're more likely to have from your family, your parents, grandparents. So what kind of things you could be cautious? Is it heart? Is it some kind of cancer? Is it mind? What is it? What things you have to be careful? And by taking care of those things, you can start thinking, okay, these kind of environments, these kind of conditions are really, really dangerous for me. What's on the opposite side? You could look into the emotional causes for these diseases, because everything is connected. One thing that people quite often don't realize, that for each and every disease, there's mentally emotional root cause for that. And if you can remove that cause, you're cured. As simple as that. You can start working on making sure that you actually take care of all these things. You can do research. One thing I said, emotional cause for diseases. Another thing you could be researching is stress management. It's very simple, sounds very unsexy, however, it's very, very powerful. Why? Because stress is a simple thing you can observe and remove easily, day by day. It's simple action, and the techniques are well known, well studied, and works magic. These simple stress management techniques works magic. And I can give you a couple of them right now so you can have something to move on. One of the most powerful stress management techniques is physical movement. Shaking body, shaking ass, dancing. Very simple, very powerful, and you don't need any equipment. Maybe it's awesome to also have some music. I do recommend some fun, joyful music to shake your body out. Shaking is very, very powerful stress and trauma release technique. Don't underestimate shaking. If your body starts shaking on its own, that's very healthy release of tension, stress. It's a symptom of having too much stress in your mind, most likely. Or maybe it's past trauma that's been carried on in your body. Another really powerful stress management technique is breath, because breath is connected both to your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, so relax and activation. It's also both linked to the autonomous and voluntary nervous system. So it's in simple terms, by controlling your breath, you can control being calm and active. You can control things that you do consciously and things that can happen to you subconsciously. So breath, because you can breathe without thinking about it, and you can breathe consciously. So it's very magical, very powerful, very, very, very useful tool to control your stress levels just by controlling breath. There are a couple of simple principles. I encourage you to go online, check a couple of videos I have for principles of how to use breathing. And when you understand the principles, any technique becomes that much more powerful and that much easier. Without confusion, it's just about understanding principles. Hopefully, you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and not blaming genes. And why I say don't blame your genes, because most of the time we take it as something out of our control. However, The truth is, we do have it very much under control. And my hope, my hallucination towards you is that you are gonna take control over your body, your health, well-being, and take empowered action towards taking care of yourself. Hopefully, you found something very useful and you're gonna take care of yourself and love yourself more. I wish you a magical day in front of you. Have it magical, smile, be present, and see you on our next one.